Hi everyone, I'm E from Susan's family. Today I'm bringing you a Bohemian shawl. This shawl is made by sewing together two identical pieces. Both pieces are made in the same way. They consist of motifs, the first section, the second section, the third section, and crocheting around the edges. After completing them, sew them together. Finally, make the tassels and attach them. First, learn how to crochet the motifs. They are made by joining identical motifs together. Only the first motif is completed as a full piece. For the remaining motifs, work and join along the side on the outermost round. Each motif consists of the main part, corners, and edging. The main part starts with a magic ring technique. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise along the starting chain. After completing it, join yarn to crochet the corners. Finally, add the edging around the corners and main part. Color changes are needed during the process. Several crochet stitches will be applied, all marked in the chart. I won't go through each one in detail. Now watch me demonstrate the specific crocheting method. For easier viewing, I'm using cotton yarn for this demonstration, and the colors are random. For specific yarn, for color schemes and hook sizes, please refer to the detail page of our product and paper instructions. Take the corresponding yarn. First, begin with a chain stitch. Chain 4. After completing, pick up the first chain stitch. Make one slip stitch in the front loop of the chain above. Pull tight. This completes the starting chain. Begin the first round. First, make 3 turning chains for the double crochet. This counts as 1 double crochet. Next, work into the magic ring. Crochet 15 double crochets. As you crochet, hide the yarn tail while working. After completing, check the number of stitches, including the turning chain. This round totals 16 double crochets. Finally, pick up the top 2 strands of the beginning chain. Make 1 slip stitch. Pull tight. The next round requires a color change. Crochet 1 chain stitch to secure. Leave a 5 cm yarn tail, and cut the yarn. The remaining yarn tail from casting on can be trimmed. This completes the first round. The right side of the fabric has clear texture. The wrong side has blurry texture. We will consider the right side of the first round double crochets as the right side of the entire fabric piece. Continue crocheting on the right side from now on. Move on to crochet the second round. Take the corresponding yarn. Join the yarn at the insertion point of the slip stitch from the previous round. Make a slip knot. Draw the loop through. Adjust the loop size. Joining the yarn is done. Then crochet a special DC2 puff stitch. Start with 3 chain stitches as the beginning chain. Then crochet 1 double crochet at the joining position. This completes a special DC2 puff stitch. Due to the beginning chain, the crochet technique is special. Next, make a chain transition. Then on the left stitch, crochet a DC2 puff stitch. First, make an incomplete double crochet, yarn over and insert the hook. Pay attention, this stitch has puckering. Pick up these 2 strands. Yarn over and draw through. Yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. The first incomplete double crochet is done. Crochet another incomplete double crochet in the same stitch. Finally, yarn over and draw through all loops in once. The DC2 puff stitch is completed. Next, make a chain transition. This round continues by crocheting a DC2 puff stitch into each double crochet stitch of the previous round. Crochet 1 DC2 puff stitch in each stitch. Chain 1 as a transition between each. Continue crocheting according to this method. After completing the last chain stitch, join with a slip stitch in the first double crochet stitch. Pull tight. Next round requires changing colors. Chain 1 and cut the yarn. Round 2 is completed. Now crochet round 3. Take the corresponding color yarn. Join the yarn in the chain space on the left side of the yarn tail from the previous round. Then work a special DC2 puff. Make 3 beginning chains. Work a double crochet in the same stitch. This completes the special DC2 puff. Then chain 2 as a transition. Skip the stitch position underneath. Work a DC2 puff in the chain space on the left side. After completing, chain 2. Continue this round downward. Work a DC2 puff in each chain space of the previous round. Work a DC2 puff in each space. Chain 2 as a transition between them. Continue this process to complete the round. Finish with a slip stitch in the double crochet stitch. Chain 1 and fasten off the yarn. This completes the 3rd round. Move on to the 4th round. Take the corresponding yarn. Join the yarn in the chain space on the right side of the yarn tail from the previous round. Chain 4 as the beginning chain for the treble crochet, which counts as 1 treble crochet. This counts as 1 treble crochet. Work 2 treble crochets at the joining position. Start with the first stitch. Yarn over the hook twice. Insert the hook. Yarn over and draw through. There are 4 loops on the hook. Yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. Repeat 3 times. 1, 2, 3. The first treble crochet is complete. Move on to the second stitch. Yarn over the hook twice and insert. Pull the yarn through. Yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops 3 times. The second treble crochet is complete. Then work 3 double crochets into the chain space on the left side. We'll consider these 3 double crochets as 1 leaf. Next, work 1 leaf into each of the 2 chain spaces on the left side. After completing, work 3 treble crochets into the next chain space. Then work 2 chains. We'll consider these 2 chains as 1 corner. Next, work 3 more treble crochets into the same position. After completing, match up with the 3 chain spaces on the left side. Work 1 leaf into each. Then work 3 treble crochets into the chain space on the left side. We'll consider these 2 groups of 3 treble crochets, and the crocheting between them. Consider this as one side. Next, work 1 more corner. This row continues with alternating sides and corners. Continue crocheting downward. After completing the last corner, insert hook into the top 2 strands of the beginning chain stitch and slip stitch. Pull tight. Cut the yarn. This completes the 4th round. Now work the 5th round. Take the corresponding yarn. Join the yarn at the chain space on the right side of the yarn tail from the previous round. Make 3 beginning chains. Work 2 double crochets at the joining position. We consider the beginning chains and these 2 double crochets as one special leaf. Next, on the left side, work a leaf in the gap between the treble crochet and the first leaf, after completing, on the left side. Work a leaf in the gap between the 2 leaves. Next, work 1 leaf in each gap between the leaves on the left side. Work 1 leaf in each gap. After completing, work a leaf at the first corner position of the previous round. We consider these 2 leaves and the crocheting between them as one side. Next, work a corner. From this round down, alternate working one side and one corner. Pay attention, the first and last leaves of the side are worked into the same chain space. The remaining leaves are worked into the gaps between the leaves of the previous round. Refer to the chart to complete this round. At the end, hook into the top of the beginning chain, and make 1 slip stitch. Now you can measure the width of the motif. Compare it with the dimensions on the chart. If there's a significant difference in size, adjust your tension and recrochet, to avoid affecting the finished product's dimensions. Once the size fits properly, cut the yarn. Weave in the yarn tail on the wrong side following the texture. You can weave in a few more stitches. Trim any excess yarn tails. This completes the 5th round. The main part is finished. Next, work the corner triangles. There are 4 corner triangles. Each corner triangle is worked in the same way. All are worked back and forth along the edges of the main part. Using the new stitch technique, treble crochet and double crochet together, double crochet and treble crochet together, double crochet decrease. Now, let's show. First, work the first row. Take the yarn that matches the previous round. Join the yarn at any corner position. Then chain 4 to start this round. Count as 1 treble crochet, then work 2 double crochets in the gap between the left leaves. Next, correspond to the gap on the left leaf. Work 3 leaves. After completing, work 2 double crochets in the gap on the left side. Then work 1 treble crochet in the corner hole on the left side. This completes the first row. Next, work the second row. Chain 4 to start this round. Turn the work. Work 1 double crochet in the gap on the left side. Next, correspond to the gap between the left leaves and work 2 leaves. After completing, work 1 double crochet in the gap on the left side. Finally, work 1 treble crochet in the chain space of the beginning chain. This completes the second row. Now work the third row. Chain 4 to start this round. Counts as 1 treble crochet. Correspond to the stitches below. Next, turn the work. Work 1 double crochet and treble crochet cluster. First work an incomplete treble crochet on the left stitch. Yarn over the hook twice. Insert the hook. Note that after turning, the stitches are located at the top left. Do not insert into the stitch under the turning chain. Yarn over and draw through the yarn. Yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops twice. The incomplete treble crochet is completed. Next, work into the gap between the leaves on the left side. Work 1 incomplete double crochet. Finally, yarn over and draw through all loops in once. The treble crochet and double crochet cluster is done. Then work 1 double crochet in the same stitch below. Next, work a double crochet and treble crochet cluster. First, work 1 incomplete double crochet. Then skip the leaf on the left side. Work 1 incomplete treble crochet in the next stitch. Finally, yarn over and draw through all loops in once. The double crochet and treble crochet cluster is completed. Finally, work 1 treble crochet in the chain space under the turning chain. Row 3 is done. Next, work row 4. Make 3 beginning chains. Turn the work. Work 1 double crochet decrease. Skip the stitch on the left side. Work 1 incomplete double crochet in the next stitch. Then pick up the chain space of the beginning chain on the left side. Work 1 incomplete double crochet. Finally, yarn over and draw through all loops on the hook in once. The double crochet decrease is completed. The braid on the upper right is its stitch. Chain 1. Cut the yarn. This completes row 4. Meanwhile, one corner triangle is completed. Now let's look at the remaining 3 corner triangles. The crocheting method for these 3 corner triangles is identical to the first one. I'll start by joining yarn at the insertion point of the treble crochet at the end of row 1 of the previous corner triangle. Then work back and forth in rows following the corresponding stitch pattern. Pay attention to the placement of stitches on both beginning and ending sides. These are marked on the chart. Refer to the chart to avoid mistakes. Everyone can follow the previous demonstration to crochet. This is what the completed sample corner triangles look like. That concludes the corner triangles. Next, we'll add the edging. Crochet in rounds around the main part and corner triangles, using the new stitch technique, single crochet. Now, let's show. Take yarn in the same color as the corner triangles. Insert hook into the beginning chain of the last row of any corner triangle to join yarn. Make 1 beginning chain to start. The turning chain of single crochet doesn't count as 1 stitch. Crochet 3 single crochets at the joining position. After completing, pick up the treble crochet of the next row, and crochet 4 single crochets. Then pick up the beginning chain of the next row, and crochet 3 single crochets. Then pick up the treble crochet of the next row, and crochet 4 single crochets. After completing, pick up the chain space on the left and crochet 1 single crochet. Then pick up the beginning chain on the left and crochet 4 single crochets. Pick up the treble crochet of the next row, and crochet 3 single crochets. Then pick up the beginning chain on the left and crochet 4 single crochets. Pick up the stitch on the left and crochet 3 single crochets. We consider these 2 single crochets, and the crocheting between them as one side. Then crochet 1 corner. This round continues downward by alternately crocheting edges and corners. Note that all single crochets are worked by picking up the stitch along the corner edge, and crochet into the chain spaces corresponding to the last round of the main part. Continue crocheting following the chart. After completing the last corner, join with a slip stitch in the first single crochet stitch. Pull tight. Now you can measure the dimensions. Compare them with the dimensions in the pattern chart. If the measurements differ significantly, adjust your tension and recrochet. Once the dimensions fit properly, cut the yarn. This completes the edging. Meanwhile, the first complete motif is done. Continue to crochet the second motif. The crocheting method for the main part and corners is identical to the first motif. When crocheting the edging, connect to these two corners on the left side of the first motif, and the one side between them. Connect the swatch at the third and fourth corner positions. First crochet 3 sides and the 2 corners between them normally. When reaching the third corner position, make 1 chain stitch. Then slightly stretch the loop. Next, take out the crochet hook. Then take the first motif. Connect at any corner position of the first motif. Note both motifs have the right side facing up. Draw the loop through from the corner position of the first motif with the hook. Adjust the loop size. Then crochet 1 chain stitch. This connects the 2 corner positions. Then return to the current motif and crochet 3 single crochets. Next, pick up the left side stitches and crochet 3 single crochets. Then slightly stretch the loop. Take out the hook. Then insert into the corresponding 7th single crochet stitch counting upwards on the first motif. Draw the loop through. Return to the current motif and crochet 1 single crochet. This connects at the 7th single crochet position. Continue downward following the edge crocheting method. Crochet 7 single crochets at the corresponding position. At the 8th single crochet, join with the corresponding single crochet stitch on the first motif. Stretch the loop. Pull the loop through at the corresponding position. Return to the current motif and crochet 1 single crochet. This connects another single crochet. Continue downward and crochet 7 single crochets at the corresponding position. Continue downward at the corresponding position. Continue downward and crochet 7 single crochets at the corresponding position. At the 8th single crochet, join with the corresponding stitch on the right side motif. After joining, return to the current motif and finish crocheting this edge. Check it. There are 3 joining points along the edge. After completing the corresponding number of single crochets, pull the loop through the corresponding stitch in advance. Crochet single crochets to join. For the remaining edges, join using the same method. Finally, join this corner. The method is identical to the previous corner. First, make one chain stitch. Then insert the hook into the corresponding corner position of the first motif. Pull the loop through. Then make one chain stitch. Finally, slip stitch and cut the yarn. Weave in the yarn tails. The second motif is now crocheted and joined. For the remaining motifs, follow the same method. When crocheting the edging, connect the left side's two corners and the edge between them to the adjacent motif. You can refer to the previous demonstration. Check the motif layout diagram. Complete crocheting and joining the remaining motifs. The motifs will eventually form a long strip. That concludes the explanation of all motifs. Next, we'll learn the first section. On the connected motif edges. Work back and forth. Now, let's show. Take the corresponding yarn. With the right side facing you. Join the yarn in the corner space of the rightmost motif on the edge. Then start working row 1. Make 3 beginning chains, which counts as 1 double crochet. Next, work a double crochet into the left single crochet stitch. Continue working a double crochet into each stitch along this motif edge. Work a double crochet. Keep going until 1 single crochet stitch remains on this motif. At the corresponding position, make a DC2 tog. Then, into the chain space of the left motif. And the first stitch position, work a DC2 tog. After completing, continue working double crochets into each stitch. Remember to make a DC2 tog at the end of the motif. The remaining part of this row is to work single crochets into each stitch. Make 1 DC2 tog at both the beginning and ending positions of the motif edge. Follow this method. Continue until 1 stitch remains at the end. At the end of the last motif, work a double crochet into the corner space. This completes the first row. Continue to the second row. Make 3 beginning chains. For each subsequent row, start with 3 beginning chains. These 3 chains count as 1 double crochet. Then turn the work. Starting from the next stitch, work 3 double crochets correspondingly. After completing, chain 2 as a transition. Skip the next 2 stitches underneath. Starting from the next stitch, work 10 double crochets evenly. Then chain 2. Skip 2 stitches. Starting from the next stitch, work 10 double crochets evenly. For this row and below, skip 2 stitches. Starting from the next stitch, work 10 double crochets evenly. After completing every 10 double crochets, chain 2 as a transition. Continue crocheting downward using this method. Pay attention, after the last 2 chains are done, skip 2 stitches. Starting from the next stitch, work 4 double crochets correspondingly. Finally, hook into the top of the beginning chain to make 1 double crochet. This completes the second row. Now work on the third row. After completing the beginning chain, turn the work. Work 2 double crochets correspondingly. Then chain 2 as a transition. Skip 2 stitches below. Work 2 double crochets into the chain space on the left side. Next, chain 2. Skip 2 stitches. Starting from the next stitch, work 6 double crochets evenly. Consider the first chain and the following crocheted stitches as a group. For the rest of this row, work using this group method. Pay attention, after completing the last 2 chains at the end, skip 2 stitches. Work 1 double crochet into the left stitch. Work 1 double crochet into the beginning chain. The third row is now complete. For the remaining rows, work correspondingly into the stitches or chain spaces of the previous row. Crochet the corresponding number of double crochets. Pay attention to match the dimensions marked in the structural diagram while crocheting. The width on both sides at the beginning and end of each row should not exceed the edges of the motif below. If there is a significant difference in dimensions, adjust your tension and recrochet as needed to avoid affecting the appearance of the finished product. During the crocheting process, you may run out of one yarn ball and need to join yarn. Leave a 5 cm yarn tail for joining. Then tie a knot at the base. Then continue crocheting the corresponding stitch patterns. Position of the knot should be placed on the wrong side of the fabric. Leave the yarn tails unprocessed for now. Place them behind the fabric. After crocheting is finished, weave in the ends along the texture on the backside. Next, continue to follow the chart and complete the last row. Once done, cut the yarn and weave in the ends. This concludes the explanation of the first section. Next, let's learn the second section. During the first sections, working back and forth, color changes are required. Many new stitch techniques are used, all marked on the chart. I won't go through each example. Now watch me demonstrate the specific crochet method. I'll demonstrate using a swatch. Row numbers are random. Row numbers are not for reference. Start with row 1. Take the corresponding yarn on the right side of the first section. Join yarn on the third chain stitch of the last row's beginning chain. Then make 3 beginning chains. Next, work a double crochet on the left stitch. For this row, work double crochets into each stitch below. Make 2 double crochets into the chain space of the 2 chains from the previous row. Continue crocheting downward using this method. For the last few stitches, pull the yarn tail from the previous row, crochet and hide the ends as you go. Once the last double crochet is completed, row 1 is done. Switch colors for the next row. Chain 1 and fasten off the yarn. Now crochet row 2. Take the corresponding yarn on the right side of the previous row. Join yarn on the beginning chain. Then make 4 beginning chains. Count as 1 treble crochet. Then work 1 chain as a transition. Next, make 1 treble crochet decrease. First, make 1 incomplete treble crochet at the joining position. Then skip the next 2 stitches underneath. Make 1 incomplete treble crochet in the next stitch. Finally, yarn over and draw through all loops in once. The treble crochet decrease is completed. Next, work 2 chains. Then make 1 treble crochet decrease. Make 1 incomplete treble crochet at the same insertion position underneath. Then skip 2 stitches on the left side. Make 1 incomplete treble crochet in the next stitch. Finally, yarn over and draw through all loops in once. Another treble crochet decrease is completed. Next, work 2 chains. For this row going down, alternate making 1 treble crochet decrease and 2 chains as a transition, and between 2 adjacent treble crochet decreases, the incomplete treble crochets at the beginning and end are worked at the same position. Everyone refer to the chart until the end. Finish with 1 treble crochet decrease at the end. The next row requires a color change. Cut the yarn. The second row is done. Next, work the third row. At the beginning chain of the previous row, join the yarn at the 4th chain stitch counting upwards from below. Then make 3 beginning chains. Then work 1 double crochet in the left side space. Work 1 double crochet in the stitch position of the left side treble crochet decrease. Then work 2 double crochets in the left side chain space. For the rest of this row, work 1 double crochet in each stitch position of the previous row, work 2 double crochets in each chain space of the 2 chains. Continue crocheting downward. Pay attention to work 1 double crochet in the last 2 chain spaces. Work 1 double crochet in the stitch position. The next row requires a color change. Cut the yarn. This completes the third row. Now work on the 4th row. Join yarn on the beginning chain of the previous row. Then make 2 chain stitches as the turning chain for the half double crochet. Count as 1 half double crochet. Next work 1 half double crochet on the left stitch. For the rest of this row, work half double crochets corresponding to each stitch of the previous row. Everyone repeat this process to complete this row. Fasten off yarn at the end. This finishes the explanation for the 4th row. Now work on the 5th row. Crochet this row on the wrong side. Turn the fabric to the back side. Join yarn on the last half double crochet stitch of the previous row. Then make 3 chain stitches as the beginning chain. Next work double crochets corresponding to each stitch of the previous row. At the end, pick up the second chain stitch counting upwards from the beginning chain. Work 1 double crochet. Complete and fasten off yarn. The 5th row is done. Continue to crochet the 6th row. Take the corresponding yarn. Turn to the right side. Join yarn on the last double crochet stitch of the previous row. Make 2 chain stitches as the beginning chain. Counts as 1/2 double crochet. Then work 1 front post treble crochet. Yarn over the hook twice. Insert your hook from right to left into the 4th row. 3rd half double crochet counting leftwards from the left side of the beginning chain. If it's difficult to insert the hook here, you can also work from right to left. Picking up the stitch position of this half double crochet, on the swatch, pick up the entire half double crochet for crocheting. Then yarn over and draw through the yarn. Enlarge the loop. To match the height of the previous row's double crochet, then yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops 3 times. This completes 1 front post treble crochet. Next, work on the half double crochet on the left side of the 4th row. Crochet 1 front post treble crochet. Yarn over the hook twice. Pick up the entire half double crochet. Then yarn over and draw through the yarn. Enlarge the loop to match the height of the previous row's double crochet. Yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops 3 times. Another front post treble crochet is completed. Next, skip 2 stitches from the previous row. Crochet 1 half double crochet in the next stitch. Crochet 1 half double crochet in the adjacent stitch. After completing, skip 2 half double crochets in row 4. Correspondingly make 2 front post treble crochets. After completing, skip 2 double crochet stitches from the previous row. Starting from the next stitch, correspondingly make 2 half double crochets. The remaining part of this row is in row 4. Skipping 2 half double crochets each time. Correspondingly make 2 front post treble crochets each time. Then in the previous row, skipping 2 stitches each time. Correspondingly make 2 half double crochets each time. Repeat this process. Refer to the chart for crocheting. Pay attention to pick up the last half double crochet in row 4 at the ending. Make 1 front post treble crochet. Then skip 1 double crochet stitch in row 5. Make 1 half double crochet in the beginning chain of row 5. Cut the yarn. Row 6 is completed. Next is row 7. The crocheting method is similar to row 3. Join the yarn in the beginning chain of the previous row on the right side. Then work double crochets corresponding to each stitch of the previous row. Cut the yarn after completing. The crocheting method for row 8 is identical to row 4. Both involve joining the yarn in the beginning chain of the previous row on the right side. Then work half double crochets corresponding to each stitch of the previous row. Cut the yarn after completing. Now let's look at row 9. Use the corresponding yarn. Join the yarn in the beginning chain of the previous row, then work single crochets corresponding to each stitch. Do not cut the yarn after completing. Continue to row 10. After completing the beginning chain, work double crochets corresponding to each stitch. Skip one stitch between every few double crochets. Then make a chain as a transition. Do not cut the yarn after completing. Refer to the chart. Complete these rows. This is what the swatch looks like after completing row 10. Move on to row 11. This row requires 2 colors of yarn. Make 3 beginning chains. Turn to the right side. Start by working 2 double crochets. Since the next stitch requires a color change, work 1 double crochet, switch colors at the second stitch. Work 1 double crochet on the left stitch. Then work 1 incomplete double crochet on the adjacent stitch. Next, hang the new yarn with your left hand. Leave a 5 cm yarn tail, and yarn over to pull through. This completes 1 double crochet and the color change. We refer to the original yarn as color 1. The new yarn is called color 2. Next, work a 5T or popcorn stitch with color 2. Work 5 treble crochets into the left chain space. As you crochet, wrap the color 1 yarn into the stitches. Stretch the loop. Take out the crochet hook. Insert the hook into the first stitch loop. And pass through the enlarged loop. Adjust the loop size. Hold the back of the treble crochet with your left middle finger. Pull the yarn through. Make the stitch stand out. The next stitch requires a color change. Switch to color 1 and secure with a chain stitch. This completes 1 chain stitch and the color change. Make sure color 1 isn't pulled too tight. This completes a 5DC popcorn stitch for treble crochet. Later referred to as treble crochet popcorn stitch. After completing, work 7 double crochets in color 1 corresponding to the previous row's double crochet stitches. First work 6 double crochets. As you crochet, wrap color 2 behind and weave it into the stitches. Gently stretch the fabric after completing. Avoid pulling the hidden yarn too tight. This affects the finished product's appearance. On the 7th stitch, first work an incomplete double crochet. Then switch to color 2 to pull through. Don't pull color 2 too tight. This completes one double crochet and the color change. Then work a treble crochet popcorn stitch with color 2. Work 5 treble crochets in the left chain space. Pay attention to wrap color 1 while crocheting. After completing, enlarge the loop, take out the crochet hook, insert into the first treble crochet stitch, and thread through the enlarged loop. Draw the yarn through. Pay attention to push the stitch forward. The next stitch requires a color change. Switch to color 1 to pull through. This completes another treble crochet popcorn stitch. While completing the color change, for the remaining part of this row, work double crochets corresponding to the previous row's double crochet stitches. In each chain space of the previous row, work a treble crochet popcorn stitch. When encountering a color change after double crochets, always use the incomplete double crochet from the previous stitch. Then switch to the required color and pull through. Complete the color change. When switching colors, don't pull the yarn too tight, then continue crocheting the corresponding stitch patterns with the new color. When changing colors, add treble crochet popcorn stitches. Before securing with a chain stitch, switch to the required color and pull through. Remember to keep the paused yarn behind the work, and weave it into the stitches together. Repeat this process until finishing the last treble crochet popcorn stitch. Gently stretch the fabric. After completing the sample swatch's final treble crochet popcorn stitch, then work 2 double crochets corresponding to the left side stitches. Pay attention to wrapping color 2 while crocheting. Complete with 1 double crochet in the beginning chain. Change colors for the next row. Cut off the yarn. Color 2 has already been partially woven in. You can cut it directly. This completes row 11. Now crochet row 12. Join yarn in the turning chain of the previous row. Make 2 chain stitches as beginning chain. Then work 2 half double crochets corresponding to the left side double crochet stitches. Next, pick up the chain stitch of the popcorn stitch, on the left side treble crochet, work 1 half double crochet. Continue downward, working half double crochets into each double crochet stitch. When reaching the popcorn stitch of the treble crochet from the previous row, pick up the chain stitch, and work 1 half double crochet. For the remaining part of this row, work half double crochets correspondingly. Complete this row, fasten off the yarn at the end. This completes row 12. Next, let's look at row 13. Join the yarn on the turning chain of the previous row, then work double crochets corresponding to each stitch of the previous row. Complete and fasten off the yarn. Finish this row. This completes row 13. Next, work row 14. Join the yarn on the turning chain of the previous row. Make 5 chains as the beginning chain for double treble crochet. Count as 1 double treble crochet. Next, skip 2 stitches. Work 5 double treble crochets in the next stitch. First work the first stitch. Yarn over 3 times and insert the hook. Yarn over and draw through. There are now 5 loops on the hook. Yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. Repeat 4 times. This completes the first double treble crochet. Next, work the second stitch. Yarn over 3 times and insert the hook. Yarn over and draw through. Yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops 4 times. The second stitch is completed. Next, work 3 more double treble crochets in the same insertion position. After completing, skip 4 stitches. Work 5 double treble crochets in the next stitch. The remaining part of this row is to skip 4 stitches, then work 5 double treble crochets in the next stitch. Continue crocheting following the chart. Pay attention to the end position. Skip 2 stitches. Work 1 double treble crochet in each of the remaining 2 stitches. Cut the yarn after completing. This completes row 14. Now work row 15. This row requires 2 colors and crocheting on the wrong side. Attach the corresponding color yarn to the stitch of the double treble crochet at the end of the previous row. Turn to the wrong side. Make 3 beginning chains. Switch colors on the next stitch. Work 2 chains. On the third chain stitch, switch colors and pull through. We'll call the original yarn color 1. The new yarn is color 2. This completes the third chain stitch and completes the color change. Then use color 2. Starting from the left side stitch, work 9 double crochets. Switch colors on the next stitch. Work 8 double crochets. Pay attention to placing color 1 in front of the fabric. Weave into stitches together. On the 9th double crochet, switch to color 1 and pull through. The method is the same as before. Remember to gently stretch the fabric. After completing, work 3 double crochets with color 2. Switch colors on the next stitch. Work 2 double crochets. Pay attention to placing color 2 in front of the fabric and weave into stitches. After completing, switch colors on the third stitch. Everyone follow this method. Refer to the chart and crochet until the last one stitch with color 1. The swatch has reached the corresponding position. Switch to color 1 and crochet. Since color 2 will be used again in the next row, do not weave color 2 into the stitches here. Pick up the top chain stitch of the previous row's turning chain. Work a double crochet. Row 15 is done. Move on to row 16. Chain 3 as beginning chains. Turn the work. Then work 1 double crochet into the corresponding stitch. Next, pick up the turning chain from row 14 and work 1 FPDT or below. The next stitch requires a color change. First, make an incomplete front post double crochet. Yarn over 3 times. Pick up the entire turning chain underneath. Yarn over and draw through. Enlarge the loop to match the height of the previous row's double crochet. Yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. Repeat 3 times. The incomplete front post double crochet is done. Then pull up color 2 from the previous row and draw through. Mindful not to pull too tight. This completes 1 front post treble crochet. Color change is also completed. Next, work a double crochet decrease with color 2. When crocheting, carry the yarn across with color 1 and the pulled up strand. Crochet them together. After completing, work 1 double crochet. The next stitch requires a color change. First work an incomplete double crochet. Then switch to new yarn and draw through. This is called color 3. Next, work a 5DC popcorn stitch with color 3. On the left stitch, first work 5 double crochets. Pay attention to weave in the yarn tails of color 1, color 2, and color 3. After completing the 5 double crochets, stretch the loop, take the hook out. Insert the hook into the first stitch. And thread it through the enlarged loop. Use your left middle finger to hold the back of the double crochet. Draw the yarn through, making the stitch stand out. The next stitch requires a color change. Switch to color 2 and draw through. Be mindful not to pull color 2 too tight. Now we've completed 1 5DC popcorn stitch, while also completing the color change. We'll refer to it as the popcorn stitch from now on. Next, work 1 double crochet with color 2. Remember to weave into the 2 paused yarns. Then work a double crochet decrease. First create 2 incomplete double crochets. Then switch to color 1 and draw through. If the yarn balls are tangled, untangle them promptly. This completes 1 double crochet decrease and the color change. Next, work 1 front post treble crochet with color 1. Skip the 14th row below. Count 11 front post treble crochets to the left from the previous one on the left side. Pick up the next stitch and work 1 front post treble crochet. Yarn over 3 times. Insert into the corresponding front post treble crochet. Yarn over and draw through. Enlarge the loop to match the height of the previous round's double crochet. Yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops 4 times. This completes the front post treble crochet. Next, work 5 double crochets corresponding to the stitches in the previous row. Remember to weave into the 2 paused yarns. Insert into the same placement of the previous front post treble crochet. Work 1 front post treble crochet. First, make an incomplete front post treble crochet. Then switch to the corresponding yarn to complete it. Consider the first double crochet decrease and the subsequent stitches as a group. Continue crocheting downward following this group's method. Remember to weave into the 2 paused yarns every time you change colors. Remember to weave into the 2 paused yarns. Continue crocheting downward. After completing the double crochet decrease at the end, pick up the last treble crochet of row 14. Work 1 front post treble crochet. After completing, pick up the left stitch of the previous row and work 1 double crochet. Note that color 2 remains in place without weaving. Weave color 3 while crocheting. Finally, pick up the turning chain of the previous row and work 1 double crochet. Color 3 is no longer needed for the next row. Simply cut the yarn. This completes row 16. Now crochet row 17. Make 3 beginning chains. Turn the work. Work 3 double crochets corresponding to the left stitches. Remember to change colors on the 3rd stitch. Then crochet double crochets with color 2. When encountering the popcorn stitch from the previous row, simply pick up the chain above and make a double crochet. For the rest of this row, use color 1 and color 2 to work double crochets corresponding to the previous row's stitches. Remember that after changing colors, you need to place the yarn being paused in front of the fabric and wrap it while crocheting. After completing each section, stretch the piece. Refer to the chart to finish this row. Color 2 is no longer needed for the next row. Simply cut the yarn. That concludes row 17. Continue to row 18. Make 1 chain as your beginning chain. Turn the work. Work 1 single crochet in the first stitch. Work 4 single crochets evenly into the corresponding stitches of the previous row. After completing, work 1 FPDT or below decrease stitch. Insert your hook into the first FPDT or of round 16 below. Work 1 incomplete front post double crochet. Then insert your hook into the next FPDT or of round 16 below. Work 1 incomplete front post double crochet. Finally yarn over and draw through all loops in once. This completes the FPDT or below decrease stitch. The braid on the upper right is its stitch, later referred to as front post double crochet cluster. Skip 1 stitch below. Starting from the next stitch, work single crochets evenly. Continue until reaching the color change mark of the previous row. Reach the corresponding position. Work 1 single crochet on the first stitch of the color change. Then work 1 front post double crochet cluster. Insert your hook into the 2 FPDT or of row 16 below. These 2 front post treble crochets. Work 1 incomplete front post double crochet. Finally yarn over and draw through all loops in once. The front post double crochet cluster is completed. Consider the stitches worked after the first cluster as one group. Repeat this group method for the remaining part of the row. Refer to the chart and complete. Pay attention to hook 1 single crochet into the top of the beginning chain at the end. Chain 1 and fasten off the yarn. This completes row 18. The second section is also completed at the same time. Now let's look at the third section. Work back and forth on the other side of the motif. Switching colors will be required during the process. The crocheting method for the first row is identical to row 1 of the first section. Join the yarn at the rightmost corner position of the motif. Then work the corresponding stitch pattern. Do not fasten off the yarn at the end. First refer to the chart and work to the last stitch of this row. Now I'll demonstrate the color change at the end using a swatch. The swatch has been worked to the corresponding position. First work an incomplete double crochet. Then switch to color 1 for the next row and pull through. This completes the double crochet. The first row is also completed at the same time. The crocheting method for rows 2 to 5 is identical to rows 15 to 18 of the second section. Follow the previous demonstration and refer to the chart to complete these rows. This concludes the third section. Next, learn the overall edging. Crochet around the entire edge of the fabric. Now, let's show. Take the corresponding yarn. Turn the fabric to the right side. Position the second section upward. Join the yarn in the first single crochet stitch on the right side. Chain 3 as beginning chains. Work a double crochet at the joining position. Then starting from the left stitch, work double crochets evenly. Continue until the last single crochet of the previous row. At the corresponding position, work 2 double crochets in the last single crochet. Consider the turning chains and subsequent stitches as one long side. Check the number of double crochets after completing. Work 2 chains. Treat these 2 chains as one corner. Work 2 double crochets in the same stitch after completing. Rotate the fabric. Pick up the beginning chain of the left 3 chains and work 2 double crochets. Then pick up the double crochet on the next row edge and work 2 double crochets. Continue to pick up the beginning chain on the left and work 2 double crochets. Next pick up the double treble crochet on the following row edge. Work 4 double crochets. Next, pick up the left double crochet and work 2 double crochets. Pick up the half double crochet in the next row and work 1 double crochet. Then pick up the double crochet on the left edge and the beginning chain of the 3 chains. Work 2 double crochets in each. After completing, pick up the gap of the left single crochet and work 1 single crochet. Continue downward on this side to pick up the second section. Work the corresponding number of double crochets for the stitch pattern on the first section edge. When reaching the motif edge, pick up the corner position and work 1 double crochet. Then work double crochets corresponding to each stitch. After completing, pick up the left chain space and work 1 double crochet. Next, pick up the stitch pattern on the left edge of the third section row. Work the corresponding number of double crochets. Then work 2 double crochets on the single crochet stitch of the last row. We consider the part crocheted after the first corner as a short side. After completing, check the number of stitches. Next, work 1 corner. There is 1 long side remaining in this round. Follow the crocheting method for the long side. Work double crochets on the corresponding stitches. Pay attention to work 2 double crochets on the single crochet stitches at the beginning and ending. After completing this long side, work 1 corner. Next, crochet a short side, which corresponds to the third section. Motif. The edges of the first section and the second section. Work the corresponding number of double crochets. Everyone follow this way to complete. At the ending, work 2 double crochets at the joining position. Then work 1 corner. Finally, join with a slip stitch on the beginning chain. Then chain 1, cut the yarn. Weave in the yarn tail along the texture on the wrong side. This completes the edging. The crocheting method for the next piece is identical. Everyone follow the previous demonstration and refer to the chart to complete. After both pieces are completed, now proceed with sewing. Turn both pieces to the right side. Match up the third section of both pieces. Starting from the corner of the edging, sew all the way to the center position of the middle motif. The exact sewing length can also be adjusted according to preference. Next, I'll demonstrate the sewing method using a swatch. Cut a thread about 1 m long in the same color as the edging. Insert the blunt needle. First, tie a knot and weave in the ends on the wrong side at any corner. Then draw through from the front side. Next, sew using the whip stitch technique. Insert from front to back into the corner position of both fabric layers. You can sew this part an extra time. Then insert into the stitch positions of both fabric layers simultaneously. Sew correspondingly, matching each stitch. Be mindful not to pull the yarn too tight. Continue sewing all the way to the center position of the middle motif. At the ending point, sew an extra time to secure it. Finally, tie a knot and weave in the ends on the wrong side. This sewing is now complete. Next, let's make tassels. Cut 2 strands of 2 5cm yarn in the same color as the edging, then combine them into one strand. Fold it in half at the middle position. Next, at any corner position of a fabric piece, pull through with the crochet hook. Then draw both ends through the loop. Pull tight. This way, one tassel is done. For the remaining tassels, install one tassel every 2 stitches. Install one tassel on the next stitch. Also install one group in each chain space at the fabric piece corners. Note: do not install tassels at the opening position. If there aren't enough intervals at the edge, you can also skip one stitch. Install one tassel. You can choose the stitch intervals for tassels according to your preference. Follow this method to install all the tassels. That concludes the explanation of tassels. Up to this point, the entire shawl making process has been fully explained. If you still have unclear parts during the crocheting process, don't hesitate to join our Facebook group to get supports. Susan's Family, supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you for watching. See you in the next episode.